Danang for the Perry Open was really good, really excited. So many people around. So it was something what I need to win something big, for my confidence, especially for the next week for the Race Cup.
And what about that match you played earlier on against Do Kai, who's a very funny individual, always laughing around, isn't he? Was it difficult for your concentration?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the beginning, I was leading 1-0. Then I missed key in the able in the second rack, and he was laughing. I was like, "Oh my God, it's gonna be difficult." I tried to be serious, but finally, I was leading 3-1, 3-2. Then I was leading like 7-2. So I think I played good safety on the match. So I'm really happy about the performance. Yeah.
So you're still going nicely here, obviously in the draw for the last 64, which will be made after the conclusion of play this evening. But one player who isn't in the last 64 is Eklund Kachi.
Yeah.
Clearly not in the best of form going to the Reyes Cup.
Yeah, I mean, Kachi is one of the best players in the world. I mean, yeah, but now you have a lot of good players around, so I think for sure it's going to be ready for Reyes, for sure. I have 100% confidence on Kachi.
And of course, you're joined at the Reyes Cup by your best pal, David Al-Kaidi.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling to play with David. 2022 was my first Mosconi. We played together, so I think it's going to be the same Reyes Cup for the first time, so I can't wait, to be honest.
Good, oh well. Let's turn our attention to this one now. It is the Philippines against Vietnam. What do you know about Jeffrey Ignacio? Have you played him very often?
Yeah, I played with him in the beginning of the year. I played one semi-final. He played really good. He played really fast as well. So I think it's very dangerous. He finished on the wall 9 ball. I think he finished he lost in the quarterfinal. So he's a really good player.
Yes, he's won tournaments in Indonesia this year, and also more recently he won the All Japan Open. So clearly he's a threat. Mind you, he did play on the main table earlier this week, and even though he won the match, he played extremely loosely and made an awful lot of mistakes. I think he's that kind of player, isn't he? Inconsistent.
Yeah, also the table is really tough, I mean, the 4-inch pocket, it's not, the table is not running like the first day. So I think you must play good in this table.
Yes, we've seen some really good performances on the table, but we've also seen some very poor ones. The last match I commentated on, I could not believe how badly Roland Garcia played against Duong Kok Wang. Duong played nicely at times, but Roland had an absolute nightmare. Lost 9-1. This is a man, of course, who got to the final of a World 9-Ball Championship.
Yeah, it was a nice win for Dong Kong Juan. He's getting ready for the next week for Reyes Cup. But yeah, for sure, Roland is a really good, strong player. But I think he's going to have another chance now.
So tell us about the fan interaction here in Vietnam. When you're walking down the street, do you get people stopping you and asking for autographs?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean the feeling is crazy because it's not even here in the venue. It's around in the street. Every fans recognize me. Not only me. I mean all the players. So it's amazing feeling, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, it's recognition that you deserve, because apart from being an absolutely brilliant player, you are a model professional and a great ambassador for the game.
Thank you so much.
Right, let's turn our attention to the final match of the day. Centre stage, Jeffrey Ignacio against Dinh Thanh Chung. It is loser's side pool, but because it's a loser's qualification, it is first to 9. I know this is not your commentary debut, because you do some snooker, don't you, for Eurosport Spanish language?
Yeah, commenting in Spain, in Spanish, of course. Yeah, but I love commenting in snooker. I really watch like every matches. But yeah, pool is gonna be different. Yeah, looks like no shot on the 2 ball, right? Oh, he make it! Wow.
That's Ignacio all over. He just plays a different brand.
That's why I like to watch Ignacio, because sometimes he play a crazy shot. He go for it like every times. And now 3 ball. Oh, he's gonna play safety.
I'll tell you who he reminds me of a little bit. Jeffrey De Luna.
Yeah, something similar. I think Ignacio have he played really fast. I think faster than Jeffrey De Luna. Wow, nice shot, but he loses the key ball.
Have you come across Dinh Thanh Chung?
Yeah, I think he's gonna play bank. Oh, he play fast as well. Yeah, good shot.
I've been saying all week, Francisco, the overall level of Vietnamese pool you can see is vastly improved just in the years since we were last over here.
Yeah, of course. You have many good players. You see the guy beat who beat the first round. Oh, he missed.
Oh yeah, Lo Van Swan who beat Eklund.
Yeah, the guy beat Eklund. Yeah. I remember last year I was playing with him on the club. You see, Jeffrey Ignacio is so fast. He has so much confidence.
You might think in a race to 9 the first rack isn't that important, but sometimes it can be. It sets the tone.
Yeah, it's always tough the first rack because you don't know so much about the TV table.
Yeah, pool's very different from snooker in that regard because the usual suspects always get to play centre stage in big events in snooker, Judd Trump and obviously Ronnie O'Sullivan, whereas centre stage, those opportunities are spread out more.
Good shot. Yeah, I think the first rack is always important. It's about the confidence, you know, with the table. Gonna play 3 rail out. That's.
I think you were going to say terrible, and you pulled back because you're such a nice guy.
I mean, I think he played the wrong shot. I mean, he has to play like softer because it's 4-inch pocket, it's tight pocket. If you play hard, you can miss the ball. You can see Jeffrey. He doesn't think so much. Maybe he can fluke the ball. Oh.
I think the fact he plays like this so quickly, so instinctively, that always tells me that he's quite nervous. He's trying to cover up the fact he is nervous, but what a terrible 8 ball that is again.
Wow. He has a tough shot, the 9 ball, especially in this table. But if you look, he plays so fast. He doesn't think so much. Wow, so hard.
Very messy rack, full of mistakes from both.
Oh, wow.
And the last error is committed by Jeffrey Ignacio. So Dinh Thanh Chung, after making 2 real blunders on the 8 ball, gets away with it. He draws first blood. Now let's have a look at these losers' qualification scores that are still out there. Plenty of matches still going. Chu Hung Ming in trouble against Michael Feliciano, who's on the hill at 8-5. Li Shikai, 5-4 up on Liu Young Cheng. Max Eberle on the hill against Victor Zielinski at 8-4. Fu Jianbo, blast from the past, part of 2 winning World Cup teams for China. With his partner Li He-wen, he can still play the game. 6-1 up, make that 6-2 now over Liu Riteng. And in an all Vietnamese clash, Luong Duc Tien, 7-4 up on Phuong Nam Pham. I'll give you the others at the end of this rack.
Yeah, Fu Jianbo, he won the World Cup pool, right? Like long time ago. It was my first World Cup pool.
It was a really strange partnership, that Chinese duo. Li He-wen was very studious and very conservative and played a lot of safety. Fu was the one who really attacked.
Yeah, I remember this year. I think they win against Philippine B. It was Dennis Orcolo and I think, Roberto Gomez. I think that's the couple.
It's an absolutely smashing tournament, the World Cup of Pool, and we're led to believe it's going to return next year, so I for one can't wait.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't wait because it's one of my favorite tournaments so far. When we won with Spain like 3 years ago, it was really special for David and me. Yeah.
Nothing special about this match yet, apart from a bucket load of mistakes.
Wow, Jeffrey missed again. I think Jeffrey Ignacio is a really good player, but he's not the player that's gonna play safety all the time. So let's go for it like every time.
Well, they got the 9 ball in motion there, but no shape on the 2.
Yeah, it was a good safety. Yeah, you can see Jeffrey don't stay so much time. Oh, that's a bad shot.
Bags of check side on the cue ball there to find the gap between the green 6 and the 8 ball.
He has to play soft to the 3 ball. Yeah, I think he need more angle to the 6 ball. Now he has to play like hard to get position to the 7 ball, and also the 9 ball is on the way to the 8 ball. That's a good shot. Wow.
this much better. Jeffrey Ignacio might well have his hands full. He's 2-0 down. Now then, between racks, got to ask you this question. I've always wanted to ask you this. So, you win the World Junior Championship.
Yeah.
Then, a few years later, you win a European Championship. Then a few years go by, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you start winning everything. What was the difference?
I think the difference was my mentality. I mean, when I won the Derby City in 2020, in January of 2022, I changed my mind a lot. I mean, I start believing in myself more. So I was really close many times, but I never won like something big like Derby City. So I won the World Junior Championship, European Championship, but I think Derby City gave me a lot of confidence. So after Derby City, I finished runner-up on the UK Open a few months later. Then we won World Cup, Pool, US Open, World 8 Ball, World 9 Ball, so it was unbelievable.
That UK Open when you were runner-up was a remarkable event because you lost your first match and you were 6-0 down in your second match.
Yeah, it was crazy, crazy tournament because I had to win like, I don't know, maybe 10 matches. But it was really special. Even I lost the final, but I feel really good because just played so good on the final. But it was a long way to reach the final. I beat so many good players, so I think this tournament helped me a lot about my confidence.
Another question. I've spoken to a lot of snooker players over the years who say the more they win, the more they want to win. And I think that was the case with you as well. It wasn't a matter of being satisfied with big titles. You wanted more and more and more, and you still do.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I agree. I think when you win something big, your motivations is getting bigger and bigger. Because I remember like 5 years ago, I finished really high, but I never won. But when you taste like a win, it's like tastes so good, to be honest. Wow, he go for it. It's strange because both players, they go for it all the time.
Yeah, we can't say this is a clash of styles. They're like identical players. They're both going for pretty much everything. Jeffrey Ignacio. This is a man, of course, who got to the quarterfinals of the World Championship in Saudi Arabia this year. He beat a certain David Al-Qaedi in the last 16, 11-4. But if he played back then like he is now, there's no way he'd beat Al-Qaedi.
Yeah, I think he's very aggressive. That's why, I mean, he's a really good player. But for example, this match, he has to play like a little bit more smarter because I think he played better than his opponent, but he's go for it like every time. So sometimes if you don't feel comfortable, you have to play a couple safeties.
Yeah, just calm down, really.
Yeah.
Played that at a nice, quiet pace, which helped it to drop.
Yeah, the speed was good, but now he has a tough shot to the 7 ball. Oh, nice ball. Yeah. Also, I think he has the good angle. Go for the 9 ball. Yeah.
Once again, the 8-ball posing problems for Dinh Thanh Chung.
Now let's see Jeffrey, because he has a tough shot. He can make the 8-ball, but he's not gonna get position to the 9-ball. He's gonna play 3 rail with the cue ball, but wow, that's a good shot. That's a good shot. Wow.
After so much bad, that was brilliant. Ignacio all over.
Yeah, he's back.
And that could be the spark he needs, because up until then, he just wasn't performing. That could be the turning point. The missed 8-ball from his opponent, and then we saw that Ignacio style. So did Carl ask you to do 3 racks, was it?
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised he's not back. He's a little bit lazy, you know, Carl. Whip him into shape next week when he's your captain for the Reyes Cup team. Tell him what for.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy there in Reyes. Carl's making a good job. We had a good practice yesterday with the team.
Yeah, if you don't get good camaraderie with Carl Boyers, I think he's the perfect person for the task. I think he'll gel everyone together and make it a really good spirit there.
Oh, the cue ball. Oh, he is unlucky. A scratch. Oh, look at the 2 on 9-ball. Maybe he can play combo. Yeah, he hit the 9-ball with the cue ball, but finally he get unlucky. Get a bad kiss. So now I think he's gonna play combo, yeah. It's not easy because the 9-ball is not frozen. Oh, that's good.
Another rack quickly goes to Dinh Thanh Chung. So after the brilliant 8-ball from Jeffrey Ignacio in the 3rd, immediately comes the scratch on the break, and once again the Filipino finds himself a couple of racks adrift. Could we have all 3 co-brothers in the last 64? Well, it's looking that way, because Ko Ping Han 5-2 up on Nicholas Tan of Singapore. Landon Hollingsworth 4-2 up on Billy Thorpe. That's a must-win match for Thorpe in terms of qualification for the Moscone Cup. Thorpe's just won rack 7 actually to make it 4-3. Antonius Kakaris 7-6 up on Kunihiko Takahashi, who won the World Championship in 1998, making a comeback at the age of 55. Windang Tuen 6-2 up on Ahmed Tawfiq, and James Aranas 7-3 over Do Van Kai. Well, FSR, Francisco, thanks very much indeed for filling the gap left by Carl Boyes. I think he deserved a short break after a 3-match run, but now he's back, and we can wish you all the best for the rest of this tournament, and indeed for Manila next week.
Okay, thank you so much, Phil. Enjoy.
And as one Spaniard leaves, another one stays in the tournament. I can tell you, Jonas Suto Camino has beaten Fatim Haradanaj 9-3.
I'm back, Phil. I know you missed me.
I think I know why Dinh Thanh Chung is playing well. He had a very confidence-boosting win in his first match here over a gentleman called Ben Grady. 9-6. Had to play well to get that result.
That has gone wrong.
Honestly, Carl, I don't know whether you've been watching this, but it's been a litany of mistakes from both players.
Well, I actually did the previous match Ignacio played on this main table. He didn't play well in that one either. Very much similar to Eklund Catcher, to be honest with you. Struggling with their game. Decent hit it full ball. That's going to leave some distance.
Yeah, so Dinh Thanh Chung beat Ben Grady 9-6. Then he beat GG 9-2 before losing in winners' qualification 9-4 to Italy's Francesco Candela. As for Ignacio, he lost his second match, but then bounced back with a couple of wins on the losers' side. But in this, the man they call the Cobra hasn't had an awful lot of venom yet.
Apparently Jeremy Jones is on his way back to the venue. He's been out doing some filming with the GOAT, Efren Reyes. I hope you give Jeremy some stick when he comes back, Phil. I hope you don't let him off lightly.
I think I'll pass. Again, Ignacio looks despairingly as the 5-ball comes out from cover for Dinh.
He's played the 2-railer.
If he's played that, I'm walking home. He played that one.
Yeah, it was a good shot. If it bounces, he'll be able to cut the 7 in. It's a little thin one. A little delicate.
Can't believe he tried to reach it. It was obvious the bridge was required. Well, maybe that's why he tried to reach it, because his action with the bridge was very bad. Very jabby. He missed the 7 by a mile, and the scratch added insult to injury. In both of the racks he's won, Jeffrey Ignacio has spotted the last 2 balls. He could have been in much deeper trouble than he is. As it stands, he's only 1 behind at 3-2. Ignacio's fellow countryman, Filipino Michael Feliciano, is through, beating Chu Hung Ming of Chinese Taipei 9-6. Victor Zielinski tried to fight back, but Max Eberle on the hill at 8-5. Liu Yu Cheng and Lin Shikai 6-6. Fu Jianbo doubling up at the moment on Liu Riteng at 6-3. 6-2 for Koping Han over Nicholas Tan. 7-6 for Antonius Kakaris against Kunihiko Takahashi. James Aranas, World Cup winner from the Philippines, 7-3 over Do Van Kai. And after that well below par performance in his previous match, Roland Garcia back to something like. He's 7-2 up on Steve Fleming.
Well, these are all sat nice. They all just connect up, don't they? This is what we call unmissable.
At the end of this rack call, I'm going to draw a comparison between Jeffrey Ignacio and a certain player, and I'll see if you agree. All square, 3-3. Yeah, the way Ignacio approaches the game, the way he plays so quickly and so attackingly, I'm not saying he's an identical player to this person, but I think that aspect of his game is really similar. Tony Drago.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Maybe not quite as quick, but very quick all the same, and just sort of gets down, sees the shot, plays the shot, and just kind of, in some way, just looks like he doesn't really think about it a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
I think that disguises the fact he's nervous. Normally when you have an extremely fast player, it's because they are trying to overcome butterflies. Of course, Drago was a phenomenal player at his best. World Masters champion, Moscow Cup MVP, regularly ran racks in less than a minute. Holds the record in snooker for the quickest ever frame, 3 minutes. The guy broke off, he made a 70-odd break, the guy conceded the frame.
I would imagine he's got the quickest century and all, right?
Probably.
I think that would be a better stat in snooker as opposed to the quickest frame. I mean, what if someone just concedes straight away after the break off?
Yeah, quickest completed frame. We've had some in snooker where players have got annoyed about missing a ball and conceded when they're in front.
That shows you the talent Ignacio has, because that was not a natural angle. He really had to force it down, arc it down.
Yeah, just before you came back, when he won the third rack, his first of the match, he knocked in an absolutely block-busting 8-ball, came round off multiple cushions, perfectly for the 9. Arrived in this round with a 9-4 win over Lin Ta Li, who we know can play. I think Ignacio is one of those players, the difference between his best and his worst is massive. And just like that, Jeffrey Ignacio turns a 3-1 deficit into a 4-3 lead. Tell you what, Carl, we've seen some rapid pool on this table today, most notably that wonderful match between Mickey Krause and Albert Manos.
Yeah, fantastic game that was. Manos showing the world why he's tipped to be a future world champion. Only 17 years of age.
Sports always need an infusion of youth with genuine talent, and there's no doubt AJ Manis fits that bill. Interesting developments on table 12, where Victor Zielinski now trails Max Eberle only 8-7. Can Zielinski keep his tournament alive? There'll be lots of players who will be keeping an eye on that score and hoping that Eberle can do them a favour. One less threat. Well, there, Ignacio couldn't make up his mind, so he called his extension. You don't see that too often.
Over on his cue ball a little bit there. Maybe able to play in the top corner.
The pace promoted, the ball falling, just went in off that right-hand jaw.
Watch out, 9 ball. That's a big old ball sat there, and you've landed right behind it. Could fluke this though. If you hit it pretty full, this could go in corner pockets.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, Cole. I haven't forgotten when you called the scratch from Eklund Kachi in the deciding rack of the World Championship.
Yeah, that was a good one. Not for Kachi, of course. Oh, look at this shot. How about this shot? Where the 8 ball is touching the rail, that is the worst spot on a pool table.
And the 8 ball has been his bête noire, if you like. That's the 4th time he's missed the 8 ball in the match. He missed early. He also played one shot where he potted the 8 and was very poor with his position. That's been the bogey ball for Dinh Thanh Chung. And that's why Jeffrey Ignacio extends his winning streak to 4 racks. He's more than halfway to victory at 5-3. Something about these remaining losers qualification matches. Liu, Yun Cheng and Lin Shikai 7-7. Fujianbo on the hill against Liu Riteng at 8-3. Luong Duc Tien has beaten Phuong Nam Pham 9-5. Going well for Ko Ping Han, 7-2 up on Nicholas Tan. Billy Thorpe, after a slow start against Landon Hollingsworth, he was 4-2 down, now he's 5-4 up. And James Aranas on the hill against Do Van Kai at 8-4. One result to give you. What a turnaround in form. Roland Garcia had a nightmare in winners' qualification, losing to Duong Kwa Kwang. What did he do? Brushed it off and then beat Steve Fleming 9-2. Every match in losers' qualification is now complete or in play, so consequently we can tell you officially this is our closing match of the day.
Bit of a conscious look there as he played that shot.
The only positive for Dinh Thanh Chung here, the awkwardness of 4 and 9.
Wobbled its way in. I don't know if he can sort of go rail first, yeah, into the pink 4 and then try and contact the 9. That may slide down the rail and go in.
In the end, it wasn't awkward at all because of Jeffrey Ignacio's ingenuity, predicted by the genius that is Carl Boys. So it's 6-3.
Just the way he got down and played it though, Phil. So nonchalant, weren't it? Real clever, smart shot he played.
I think that's one of his secret weapons, actually, Ignacio. He's so nonchalant. It's as though he doesn't really care, but we all know he does. And I think sometimes he lulls his opponent into a false sense of security.
Yeah, and I think when you get players that play quicker, they have the ability to rattle off racks quicker than other players, and he's obviously a very good shot maker. We've just seen that. He's got a very good break. Hair's on the soft side, but he pots the one a lot, and because of this he can do 3-4 racks on you in literally less than 10 minutes. So maybe he's just realised that is what his game's about, so he's prepared to keep playing quick, keep going for his shots, because he expects to put 3s and 4s against everybody he plays.
Yeah, we mentioned the fact he was a quarter-finalist at the World Championship. He was through to the last 16 of the world in 2017, and he's been around a while now, a decade at the top, because in 2014, at the age of 22, he was runner-up in the China Open.
That was quite some far away.
Yeah, I think he's quite difficult to predict, to forecast what he's going to do, good or bad. Inconsistent from match to match, from rack to rack, it seems. but you don't achieve what he's achieved in the game without the good outweighing the bad. And that was definitely bad from Dinh Thanh Chung. Big result. Max Eberle of the USA has beaten Poland's Viktor Zielinski 9-7. So Zielinski joins the likes of Aloysius Schaap and Eklund Kachi by surprisingly failing to make single elimination.
Cute power. Has that in abundance. Does Jeffrey Ignacio. He can really make that cue ball dance.
On the threshold of taking a 7-3 lead and winning half a dozen racks on the trot. In it goes. And we all know where the turning point was. It was in rack 5. Dinh Thanh Chung, after an outrageous fluke, needed just 2 balls to make it 4-1, but he badly undercut a thin 7 using the bridge, and ever since it's been one-way traffic. The number of matches out there dwindling down. Liu Yuncheng 8-7 upon Lin Shikai, an all Chinese Taipei battle that. Fu Jianbo has beaten Liu Riteng 9-3. Koping Han 7-3 over Nicholas Tan. And the Landon Hollingsworth Billy Thorpe battle really is a tussle. It's 5-5.
Got close to the one on the break. Just hit the top jaw. Here comes the push out. That is completely legal after the break. Jeffrey Ignacio will have the option. He'll play the shot or give it back. He's got him locked up in jail here. So that would tell you, Phil, it was a poor push out. The idea with the push is that you don't leave anything easy or obvious in some cases.
Yeah, when we have seen the push out today, we have encountered quite a few errors of judgment. Aloysius Schaap was guilty of 2 in his match to start things off.
3-1 down it was when I come in the com box for this match. Completely turned this game on its head as Ignacio.
And of course we can start thinking now about day 4 tomorrow, and at these major World 9-Ball Tour ranking events, day 4 I think is one of the best days. It is the entire last 64 and the entire last 32. Always something going on, an abundance of stories, and 5 cracking matches to bring you on this main table. Of course, we can't tell you what the matches are because we don't know the draw yet. It won't be made until the conclusion of play this evening. But you know, one thing is guaranteed, it always churns out some spicy encounters.
Looks like Ignacio's name will be in the hat. And he'll be a player that people will want to avoid. I know if you tuned in today and watched him, you're probably thinking he's not much cop, but he is.
Yes, a struggling Jeffrey Ignacio is vulnerable, but one who's on a roll can be unstoppable. 2 distinct versions. Here, the beat carries on. Jeffrey Ignacio, having been 3-1 down, finds himself on the hill without further loss. It's double hill on table 24. Liu Yunchang and Lin Shikai, 8-8. Ko Ping Han on the hill against Nicholas Tan at 8-3. Billy Thorpe's back in front against Landon Hollingsworth, 6-5. Antonius Kakaris of Greece on the hill against a former world champion, Kunihiko Takahashi. Wen Dang Tuen, he's 7-5 up on Ahmed Tawfiq. Raymond Farion and Truong Du Tung, 4-4. And Chien Chingju on the hill against Win Bui Trung at 8-4. Also on the hill, Albania's Besas Spahiu, 8-4 up on Assis Tadiq of the Philippines.
There's a chance here. Oh, what a beautiful pot. Played it with left English to get round the back of the pink 4 to land on the red 3.
Needed to get past the 9 call.
Yeah, he might try and pot the green 6 with the cue ball now. Well, that is a Brucey. Don't worry about that. Where it's finished, he will be delighted.
If you're watching around the world and you're thinking, what is a Brucey? Well, there was a game show in England hosted by Bruce Forsyth, and that was his catchphrase. That's a Brucey bonus. And so is that. What a fluke. What a fluke on the 8-ball. You've never seen anything quite like it.
I would give you 5,000 attempts at that 8-ball, Phil.
And then he misses the 9. Truly a crazy match. And you know, in around half an hour's time, will Jeffrey Ignacio regret that? There's no room for guilt in 9-ball pool. Okay, it was an outrageous, outlandish fluke, but he should have steadied himself and knocked in the winning ball. As it is, the match remains alive. And that 7-rack losing streak for Dinh Thanh Chung is over. We don't normally miss seeing the attempt on the 9-ball, but that fluke was so out of the ordinary. We had to show a replay of that. Maybe the missed 9-ball won't matter in the slightest.
Yeah, ball in hand. Purple 5-ball. If that's stuck, if it doesn't pot anyway, he's going to have to play a breakout. It might go in the bottom corner, actually, bottom right corner.
Ko Ping Han is through to join his brothers Ko Ping Yi and Ko Ping Chung in the last 64. Ko Ping Han beating Nicholas Tan 9-3. Well, was that a Brucey bonus? No. He's an extraordinary player, isn't he? You can't pigeonhole Jeffrey Ignacio.
Yeah, bags and bags of talent.
But also, one has to say, bags and bags of errors.
It's a funny game, 9-ball pool, though. You've got to be careful. Whenever you get opportunity to win the match, easy opportunity, as in all the balls are there, I can assure you, make sure you take them. Because this game has a knack of coming back to get you.
Yes, those mythical pool gods get involved, don't they? Oh, but Dinh Thanh Chung so often in this match has failed late on in racks. Ignacio has missed one 9-ball for victory. Can't imagine this one will be missed. Indeed not. Jeffrey Ignacio defeats Dinh Thanh Chung by 9 racks to 4. That was after being 3-1 down. Over on table 2, Nguyen Tuyen on the verge of beating Ahmed Tawfiq until that miss. As for this one, well, Ignacio is through again, and he will be a wild card in the last 64 tomorrow. That was the pools version of A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times and the worst of times. He needs to tighten up. We know he's brilliant, but he needs to cut out all of those mistakes. If he does that, he could well be a threat for the $30,000 first prize and glory in the Mansion Sports Hanoi Open. So this is what we've seen today. Aloysius Shap out early on, beaten by Jundel Mazon of the Philippines, 8-5. Then that remarkably fluent match in which Albert Manis, overcame European Open champion Mickey Kraus by the odd rack in 17. Duong Kok Wang had nothing to beat in Roland Garcia. Garcia made so many errors. Duong coming through 9-1. It was a breeze. As for table 2 on the loser's side, Nguyen Tuyen beating Le Ngoc Tuan 8-2. Then Ko Ping Chung showed his class to overcome Loh Ho Sum of Hong Kong 9-3. And Jeffrey Rodder in the all-Filipino match, he defeated James Arenas 9-5. Then a little later on, the poor form of Eklund Kachi continued. He was beaten 9-6 by Loh Ho Sum after losing in the final of the World 9-Ball Championship by the odd rack. Kachi took a sabbatical from the game, and I think it's shown he's undercooked. He's not played enough, and he came here underprepared, and that's why he's out so early. Also, we saw Jeffrey Ignacio with a whole mixture of stuff to beat Dinh Thanh Chung. As for table 2, well, Mickey Kraus bounced back. That's why he's in the last 64 draw, beating Nguyen Tuyen 9-5. Good win that, because Nguyen Tuyen is a fine player from the host nation. And Nguyen Tuyen, as we've just seen briefly, on the verge of victory against Ahmed Tawfiq on table 2 right now at 8-5. If you want to see that match, it's available on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. As for our coverage from today, well, it's over. I'd like to say thank you very much for being with us, and please join us again tomorrow, 10 o'clock local time, here in the Vietnamese capital, for day 4 of the Mansion Sports Hanoi Open Pool Championship. It should be a cracker. Until then, a very good evening.